September 25, 1995, El Paso, Texas. My soul had swirled down a drain into hell, and I slammed headfirst into a wall of physical and emotional exhaustion at the speed of insanity. Sleep, what little I'd had in the last 3 or 4 days, I'd lost count, would not keep me much longer from the collapse ahead. Sitting outside the hospital, I was haunted by images that would not vanish. When I closed my eyes, visions of the last 72 hours, even events I'd only heard by phone, played in my head with stunning clarity of color, touch, and smell, branded into my memory like burn-in on a video screen. Twice in the last week, I'd listened helplessly on the phone as someone I cared for had been shot. 3 nights ago, when Zach had been on a Florida beach, and then only hours ago, when Anthony Bock opened fire in a St. Petersburg hospital room. This last time, one man I loved survived, and one didn't. Your life is screwed up, I thought, when your serial killer half-brother is responsible for one of your lovers having to tell you the other is dead. Had things gone Anthony's way, I'm sure Jeremy McNeely and Zach Samualson would both have died in Florida. Anthony Bock had also kidnapped my mother, who'd escaped a bomb in a barn not far from Ruidoso, New Mexico, though I'd yet to find out how. Dehydrated and weak, she'd fled captivity. I'd ridden in the rescue helicopter that had delivered her to William Beaumont Army Medical Center in El Paso, where she was being treated. Now, I sat outside, away from the doors, my back to a wall. FBI Special Agent Nolan Forrester, who'd rallied many of the resources in the search for my mother, found me sitting outside the emergency department in the morning sun. It was warm for the last week of September, yet I was chilled to my aching bones. Nolan sat down beside me and said nothing for a while. Maybe he gazed out over the shades of brown surrounding El Paso, wondering what my eyes seemed to focus on in the distance. Knees pulled to my chest, I tried to hide the trembling muscles that might give away the fact I was little more than a human train wreck in slow motion, awaiting devastation yet to come. Still reeling from the news from Florida, I sometimes had to remind myself to breathe. Despite my initial meltdown after hearing the news that Anthony Bock hadn't died alone in a Florida hospital room, I was calm now. The overwhelming grief I was trying to control would not remain contained for long. Your mother has some Army major backed into a corner, making him sign her release papers, Nolan said, breaking the silence. The FBI jet just landed here and refueled. Where do you want to go? My brain lagged, needing time to make sense of his words, and I turned to him in blank confusion. I figured you might want to go to Florida, he clarified. Gathering the energy to speak was like wading in wet concrete, slow and futile. Has anyone notified his family? I asked, trying to focus on the future for a moment instead of the disastrous past. Could we stop in Atlanta? I'd like to tell Jeremy's parents, if you could make that happen. Julie, I know you were... Nolan paused, finding no diplomatic way of stating the truth, so he ignored it and continued. That's not a good enough reason for you to be the one to tell them. Having sex with him. I filled in his hesitation. Let's not start being bashful now, Nolan. I owe his parents a personal explanation, and I don't need to tell Jeremy's wife because I feel guilty. She needs to know he was going home to her. Are you sure? He asked. I thought, am I sure I don't feel guilty? Am I sure Jeremy was leaving me again? Or am I sure I want to face his family and tell them he's dead? When Jeremy saw me at the cabin in Michigan that last time, whatever he felt for me died right there. I saw it on his face. He left a note with Brandon before sneaking away, saying he was sorry. Again.